Hey, what's happening? DocTesta here, Chief Wellness Consultant for Pine Pollen Superfoods and Train for Longevity. Today I want to talk to you about morning routines. My morning routine, if you don't have one, developing a morning routine. I think when you have a morning routine and you do it, you own your day. It helps you set the day up straight. So number one, before I do anything, my phone is not turned on or connected to the internet. I sleep with that thing on airplane mode. I do not take it off airplane mode for the first hour that I'm awake. I don't want to be interrupted. I don't want to see something that's going to upset me. I don't want to start reading emails and problem solving. I don't want to see something from somebody else where there might be some comparison activity going on. And so first things first, I don't sleep with the phone in my bedroom, and I leave it on airplane mode for that first hour. So right there, that's a great way to start the day. It takes a little bit of discipline on the front end, but afterwards it is very easy to do, and you're not missing anything, right? You're not missing a damn thing. So next thing I do is I get up and I drink about 16 ounces of water. Why? Because we are breathing all night long. We're losing up to a pint or more of water just in respiration. So by the time you wake up, you're already dehydrated. So first thing I do is about 16 ounces of water. Now, some days I put a little Himalayan salt in there so I get it really absorbed into the cells. Other times I don't. Then immediately I go downstairs and I do body mobilization, right? I'm a fan of Egoscue, E-G-O-S-C-U-E. I've been given some protocols by them. I've got a jacked up neck and a low back from football injuries and car accidents and everything else. So I do a routine of Egoscue exercises that help mobilize my neck, my thoracic spine, my lumbar spine, pelvis, and hips. I mean, religiously. It keeps me really feeling good and out of pain. Then what I do is I do some Wim Hof breathing, right? If you're not familiar with that, Wim Hof breathing, you can look it up, but what I do is, and I don't hyperventilate, I do this through my nose, inhale, and not really, excessively deep or inhale or not excessively long exhale. Almost just a little bit exaggerated, but even not so much on the exhale. And I build that oxygen up in the blood. And if you know Wim Hof breathing, I do 30 reps of that. And then last, on the exhale, I hold my breath. Yes, you heard that right, on the exhale. So that takes a little bit of time. Your nervous system is going to freak out a little bit. Body's going to want to breathe. Like sometimes your diaphragm is trying to get you to breathe. Now, I don't recommend doing this in water. I don't recommend doing this in the bathtub. Obviously, you've got to do this on land and preferably laying down. Now, I'm able to do that for about a minute and a half. I can hold my breath without air. And then immediately I'll take a big gulp in and I'll hold my breath for about 15, 20 seconds with all that oxygen. And I'll do a second round of that. I do 2 sets of that. Some people do 3. But interestingly, I have found that to be really good. I mean, it kind of gets my cells going, wakes up my nervous system. And then I turn over onto my stomach. I do some cat-cow exercises, mobilize the thoracic spine. That sort of finishes off my Egoscue mobilization. And then I knock out about 40 or 50 push-ups in one set, right? I try to do it in one set. And good push-ups, right? I'm very horizontal, very stable. I'm not just moving my shoulder blades. I'm actually moving my chest and going down and getting a full push-up. That's a great morning wake-up. Now, I've been a meditator for, before I get into meditation, this will be a video for another time, but then I want to share with you a testicle massage. This is a great technique for boosting testosterone, I believe, I haven't seen any studies, I'm just telling you just from my own experience and from the Taoists who use this for doing just that, and utilizing that sexual energy in a beneficial way by internalizing that energy. Another talk. So I'll get up off the floor and I'll do some testicle massage to move that energy now that I've got from the breathing and from the push-ups and from the mobilization, right? The blood's flowing, my body's rehydrated. I want to use that energy beneficially. We'll talk about that in another video. I've been a meditator for over 30 years, and I do that first thing in the morning. It sets the day. I set an intention, and I do some different things with meditation. Now, I've been a meditator for a long time. I've never really used an app or anything for extended periods, but currently I'm really enjoying this app by Sam Harris called the Waking Up app. It is a great meditation, mindful meditation, and it's something you can take with you throughout your entire day. Now, here's the caveat: 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes every day, and he guides you through a different meditation every day. I think the first week or 2 weeks are free, and then I forget what the cost was, $60 for the year. I find it to be very beneficial, and I think Sam Harris is a very knowledgeable PhD in neuroscience, trained meditator. I just like what he has to say. He has a good podcast, but the Waking Up app is a great meditation app. Then 10 minutes. Look, if you don't have 10 minutes to meditate, then you probably need an hour, meaning you're wasting time doing other things, or you're obviously so busy and stressed out that something is missing in your life. I would recommend going for an hour, or if you don't have 10 minutes, and that's sort of a joke in the meditation community, if you don't have 10 minutes, you need an hour. But I love the Waking Up app for 10 minutes. Then one of the other things I do, a couple other things, I journal. I've been journaling now for 15 years. I have volumes of journals. And sometimes it's a diary, sometimes it's a bitch session, sometimes it's just things I'm grateful for. For the last 2 or 3 years, some mentors of mine, Brian Grasso and Carrie Campbell, shared with me their 4 pillars of a morning routine, largely revolving around journaling, which is learning your language. Like, write down what's going on in your head. What's going on in your head is typically your subconscious stopping you from moving forward in some area. And if you're true, if you're honest with yourself and you write about the things that have got you griping and bitching and stopping you from progress, you're going to find a pattern of something in there that is the catalyst that's stopping you from making good progress. So learn your language. Review your direction. So many people set goals in January and 98% of them never hit them because they don't review the goal. What was the goal you had in January that you were going to accomplish? Well, unless you review it daily and reaffirm that to yourself and recommit to it on a daily basis, you're going to miss it. You're just going to miss it. Like a ship going from California to Hawaii is constantly resetting its rudder because it's drifting a little bit. And a 2-degree drift, you're going to miss your target completely. So review your direction. Now, I take that review your direction, and because I've been doing this a while, I bake that into my meditation in what's called visualization, right? The body does not know, the brain does not know real from visualize. So I take what I want in my direction and I visualize it. And sometimes I visualize hard for about 10 minutes. And I try to feel what that feels like and embody it, right? It's not just a cerebral thing. What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? And I try to bring the 5 senses in so that it really gets ingrained into my body. And then sometimes in the morning, mostly at night, part of the journaling though is my wins, counting my wins. So what are your wins, right? You don't have to win a marathon for it to be a win. Maybe your win that day is you didn't lose it in the office when somebody set you off. Maybe a win is you ate really well that day. Maybe a win is you got to the gym and you got the workout you wanted. Maybe a win is that 15 minutes with your daughter on your lap reading a book before bedtime. I mean, when you start to focus on your wins, you start to see these things. You start to see the good in your life and the good in humanity because it's out there. It's too easy to see the negative and to bitch about it and to turn on the news and get sucked in. And so counting your wins really makes a big difference in your life. And we have a part of our brain, the reticular activating formation, that looks for objects in our world to confirm our own internal biases. See, I told you the world was crappy. See, I told you, right? Because you're going to look for it to confirm it. So the same works the opposite way. When you are counting your wins and you're seeing the good around you, you will continue to see more and more good. Now, I want to ask you, if this makes sense to you, share it with someone. Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs. Let me know this is resonating. Now, lastly, I'm a big time-restricted feeding person. It's been an important part of my life. I stop eating at 7 o'clock at night, and I usually won't eat till 9, 10, 11. Depends what's going on. I try to get 14 hours minimum of fasting in every single day. If you don't have the Zero app, I recommend you get that. It's free, Zero app. It's a great fasting tool. And I will fast every day. So I don't eat breakfast. I'll drink 1 cup of coffee, and I'll even cook for my family. I'm not really that hungry. My body is now adapted to functioning really well on ketones. Ketones are what are released when your body's burning fat. Ketones are not released by eating bacon or butter. That's a whole other topic we can get into. And so I maintain my fast. And that's really my morning routine. After I get through all of that, then and only then do I turn on my phone to start looking at emails, LinkedIn, Facebook, taking phone calls. So my phone is locked down from 9 p.m. until 7 a.m. every day, 7 days a week, and I love that. You're not going to miss anything. Remember, before we had phones like that, we didn't deal with anything like this first thing in the morning. So a lot of good things that can come from your morning routine. Now, if you don't have one, take some of my ideas, pick some of the things that work for you. I recommend getting a nice blank leather-bound journal and making it sacred so that you do go to it. Now, the value of having all those journals that I mentioned in the past is when I was at a low point in my life, I started flipping through them and I found 3 patterns that I had been repeating over a 10-year period that allowed me to get some real focus and clarity on what I needed to do to shift that. So there's a lot that can come out of a journal. And so I highly recommend that. Now listen, I want to tell you one last thing. I've got a 30 days in 30 ways email sequence that will send you 30 different ways of implementing health into your life. It could be brushing, flossing. It could be the squatty potty. It could be meditation. It could be journaling. But every day for 30 days, you will get an idea from me. You don't have to do them all, but I recommend finding 4 or 5 that really seem to move the dial for you, seem to impact your life and your health in a beneficial way, and adding that and making that part of your routine. There'll be a link here. You can subscribe to that. It's free. 30 ways in 30 days email sequence. I'm not selling you anything. It's just things that you can do to stay out of a doctor's office. And as I always say, be your own doctor, because nobody can make you healthy. There's no pill that's gonna do it. It only comes from your choices, your diet, and your lifestyle. 30 ways in 30 days below. So try this morning routine, bring it into your life. If you know someone who should hear this, please share this or invite them into the group. Let me know if you like this with some hearts and some thumbs. Also post any questions below. I'll be glad to answer them. All right, hope this is valuable for you. Morning routine. When you have a morning routine, you own your day, and the beauty of discipline and routine is you don't have to think about it. We'll talk in the next video about a bunch of good stuff related to testosterone, estrogen, detoxification, testicle massage, and other good things. So we'll see you in the next video. All right, have a great day.